Welcome to Rajashekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 322. In this lecture, we will try to understand receiver operating characteristic curve, that is ROC, and AUC, that is area under curve. Other very interesting metric, especially in binary classification, is called receiver operating characteristic curve, also called as ROC curve. AUC, that is area under this curve. Again, this curve has nice interesting history. This curve is actually designed by electronics engineers, or I can say electronics and radio engineers during Second World War to predict how well the missiles are working. See, the name itself, receiver operating characteristic, looks very electronics in its name, in its naming. That's why machine learning is all about taking all the great ideas from all areas of science, from physics, statistics, electronics engineering, everything that is possible, and incorporating all of these ideas to solve our problems. So let's understand what this is. Imagine if I have data set like this. I have data set x1, x2, x3, x4, let me say x5, isn't it? 5 data points. For each data point, now I have class labels. Let's assume this is my x and this is my y. Let's assume this is my y cap, isn't it? This is, let me say this is my y cap, isn't it? Let the class labels for these points are, let me say 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Let me assume all these are my class labels. Let's assume this is my binary model. My model which does binary classification. Model gives me 1 or 0. It also gives me score like a probability score. More the probability score, more is the chance that it belongs to class 1. That's all we care about, or vice versa. If your model gives me a score like probability score is one score that model can give. Let's assume my model gives probability score. What is this probability score? Just see. Let me say, as we are saying that, let me assume this model gives me probability score as well as it also returns 0 and 1. Let me say for x1 probability score is 0.95. In similar manner for x2 0.92, for x3 0.80, for x4 let me assume it is 0.76, for x5 let it be 0.71, isn't it? I have sorted data in descending order of y cap values. That point is important. Let me repeat. I have sorted data in decreasing order. In decreasing order of y cap. This is decreasing order 0.95, 0.92, 0.80. This is decreasing order of y cap. The first step in plotting ROC curve, what we have to do is, the first step is to take all of your data and sort it in decreasing order of y cap. Once I sorted in decreasing order of y cap, what I will do here is I will do something called thresholding. The second step is, what is this thresholding? We will try to understand. So thresholding works as follows. I can take any value from y cap. I have values of y cap, isn't it? I will take largest value here. Which one is largest value? 0.95. I will use this as threshold. Let me say this is my first threshold. Let me say tau 1. My first threshold tau 1 equal to 0.95. I will use 0.95 as a threshold and say every point which has y cap value greater than or equal to 0.95 is my class 1. Just see what it says. If my y cap is greater than or equal to tau 1, what is my tau 1? Here tau 1 is 0.95. I must keep class 1, otherwise I must keep class 0. Just for example, 0.95 is greater than or equal to 0.95. Therefore, this particular it will get class 1. Which one? Let me write. Otherwise, just a second. Just see this one. Let me rewrite it. Yes, let me rewrite it. Just see this one. What it says. If let me consider which one is my tau 1. Tau 1 is 0.95. 0.95 is greater than or equal to what the rule says. If your y cap is greater than or equal to tau 1, if y cap is greater than or equal to tau 1, then declare it as class 1. What is my y cap value? 0.95 is greater than or equal. My tau 1 is also 0.95. Therefore, which class I have to give? If y cap, just try to recall the rule which I wrote in previous slide. Otherwise, I will write it again. What is your tau 1? Tau 1 is 0.95. What the rule says? If y cap is greater than or equal to tau 1, then declare it as class 1. Otherwise, declare it as class 0. My 0.95, if y cap value is greater than or equal to 0.95. Therefore, this particular this one will get class 1. Just see this one. Yes, you are getting class 1. Just see what's the reason. Again, let me say 1 minute. Yes, this one. You are getting class 1. 0.92 y cap value is greater than or equal to 0.95. False. You are getting 0. 0.80 is greater than or equal to 0, isn't it? Therefore, if in next case, what you have to do, you have to take tau 2 is next largest value. What is my next largest value? My next largest value is 0.92, that is tau 2. Just apply same rule. What is the rule? If y cap is greater than or equal to tau 2, then declare it as class 1. Otherwise, it is class 2. For example, 0.95 is greater than or equal to, what is my tau 2 here? Tau 2 is 0.92. In second case, first tau 1 this one, second tau 2 this one. Y cap 0.92 is greater than or equal to tau 2. Yes, it's a class 1. 0.92 is greater than or equal to 0.92, it's a class 1. All other you will get class 0. Is it not simple? Is it not simple and straightforward? If I take my first value, tau 1, for every value I will get some class label 1 and 0. For every class label, if I have 1s and 0s, for every class label, if I have 1s and 0s, we can compute TPR and FPR. To compute TPR and FPR, what do I need? I basically need class labels. I don't require probability scores. I will take tau 1. When I say tau 1, all these values, when I say tau 1 equal to 0.95, all these values, y cap values greater than or equal to, y cap value greater than or equal to 0.95. Y will have class label 1. Yes, 0.95 is greater than or equal to 0.95, class label 1. 0.92 greater than or equal to, it's a class 0. In similar manner, just take tau 2 equal to 0.92, isn't it? So let me draw it here. Now what I am doing, I am saying what is the class label. Let's call y tilde. That's what I am saying. This is y tilde. When tau 1 equal to 0.95, this will become class 1. When tau 1 equal to 0.95, this will become class 1. All other will become class 0 corresponding to y tilde tau 1 equal to 0.95. In similar manner, given y tilde value at tau 1 equal to 0.95, we have our actual y's. You have our actual y's. You have our actual y's and your predicted y's, isn't it? You have actual y's. These are actual y's. These are predicted y's, isn't it? Is given actual and predicted y's corresponding to tau 1, I can compute TPR. I can compute FPR. Next, I will take tau 2. What is my tau 2 value? My tau 2 value is 0.92, isn't it? I will take tau 2 equal to 0.92. Then what I will do? Now I will say what is y tilde value? Y tilde values I must calculate. Similarly, I can keep on changing this threshold. If I have n points here, how many threshold values I will get here? I will get 5 threshold values. 0.95 first threshold, 0.92 second, third, fourth, fifth, like this. As I have 5 points, I will get 5 threshold points, isn't it? If I have n points, if I have n points here, I can have n thresholds. Now, if I have n thresholds, tau 1, tau 2, so on, tau n. For each tau, I can get FPR and TPR. Now, what I will do is this. I will draw plot like this. Let me say my first threshold value is tau 1. Its corresponding FPR values, TPR values. Second threshold value is tau 2. Corresponding FPR, TPR values. Third threshold is tau 3. Corresponding FPR, TPR values. Let me say if there are n points, I will get n FPRs and TPRs. In this case, I have only 5 points. Therefore, I will get 5 threshold values. Now, what I will do is, now I will get 5 FPRs and 5 TPRs in this particular case. Now, what I will do is this. I will draw a plot like this. Which plot I will draw? Just see. This is a plot. I will draw plot like this. I will draw plot where my x-axis is FPR. That's important. Just see, this x-axis is FPR. Yes, your FPR lies between 0 and 1. We already discussed this one in previous lecture. Similarly, your TPR is on y-axis, whose value lies between 0 and 1 only. Of course, my y-axis is TPR, my x-axis is FPR. Now, I have pairs of FPR and TPR. I will plot them. I will plot these pairs of values. When I connect all of them, I will get a curve. Typically, your model, if your model is sensible, let me say like this. Yes, if your model is sensible, you will get a curve like this. This is a curve. This is a curve. This is the curve. You will get this curve. Yes, you will get curve like this. If your model is sensible, you will get a curve like this. This curve is receiver operating characteristic curve. Let me draw a line here. This is my line. This is the block line. Just this one. This is a block line. Let me draw this line. Let me draw this block line. This line breaking this whole region. Just see, this is whole region is, it's breaking this whole region into two parts. This is one part. This is one part below this block line, and other part is above block line. Therefore, this block line divides whole region into two parts. This half, this is half area under the block line. Just see, this is half area under this block line, isn't it? This is the half area under the block line. So area under my block line is 0.5. Why? Because this block line is dividing entire region into two parts. What is the area of this particular region? It is 0 to 1. 0 to 1 means area is, this is the length into, it's a square. Basically, it is square. Area is side square, 1 square. Therefore, area is 1. Therefore, half of the area means I can say 0.5. Total area is 1 because x-axis varies from 0 to 1. Also, y-axis varies from 0 to 1. Now, the area under the curve AUC, because my curve is this. This is my curve. This is my curve. This is my curve. This is my ROC, I can say my area under ROC curve, it is often written as AUC. What is my AUC? AUC, this one is AUC. Area under this ROC curve is known as, this area is AUC. AUC, I can say my area under ROC curve, it is often written as AUC is basically the total area under this whole curve. This AUC lies between 0 and 1. 1 means very good, 0 means it's terrible. Yes, its value lies between 0 and 1. 1 means it's very good, 0 means it's terrible. So this is what is called receiver operating curve. This metric is called AUC. Of course, this is only useful for binary classification. AUC means area under this ROC curve. This is only useful binary classification, not for multi-class classification. There are extensions of ROC to multi-class classification, but typically used for binary classification. I will continue my discussion on ROC and AUC in my next lecture also. Thank you very much.